Hey everybody, it's Marty, the JavaScript party, and Rhett, my buddy, African Gray Parrot. And the last few days, I've been uploading my code to DreamHost, and now it's available at a website. Let's see, I think it's HTTP. Yep, there it is. And you can go here and you can play around with it if you want. Um, but the I thought that doing that was going to take. Well, okay, a couple things to cover. One was I watched my video and I saw that I had exposed a couple of usernames to the web. Yeah, I so I did go in and I deleted those users. I know I didn't expose the password, but that didn't really matter because like there's a lot of tools out there that can, like, if it has the right username, it can just try a bunch of different passwords. But it's extraordinarily difficult, and this is not a challenge. I'm not challenging you hacker people that are good at hacking. Nothing but respect here, respect. But it is a lot harder on them if they don't know the username. I've had a few friends that fancied themselves as hackers that were like, oh, I'm going to try to hack your website or whatever, and then they came back and they're like, well, what's the username? And I was like, oh, I'm not telling you the username. And I literally will have DreamHost generate a random username and then a random password for me. Um, for that. And then like if I ever need to, like, let's say I upload something to a website but I don't do it regularly, I'll literally just go in to DreamHost and tell it to generate a new password, update the password to a new generated password. So I typically don't even use, unless I'm actively maintaining a website, I rarely use the same password twice to SFTP up to the websites. So I try to be pretty safe. Obviously, it's not like rock solid safe. I just hope that since I have nothing of value there, there's like absolutely no um, usernames. I mean, like credit card numbers, addresses, personal identification for anybody. Like there's nothing other than pictures and movies and stuff and everything I have is actually even freely and easily available via the um, browser. So you know, if you were to hack into any of my websites and you downloaded them, there's nothing there that you can't have anyways. So, but anyways, I thought that whole thing was going to take like the rest of the year, but it didn't. So I guess that gives me time to add a new kind of geometry. And I think the cone geometry seems like a good one. See, it has a radius, height, and radial segments, which I think I always hard coded 32. And I think I already have radius and height. So I think all I'll have to do is, in the UI, is modify some uh, type some template code and all that. So let's just dig in because I haven't done a the I know I did a one for the text, and that was a bit tricky because text it required other things like uh, fonts and stuff to be loaded. So that was a little harder. So I think the very first one I ever did was a cube, and then I added a sphere, and now I'm hoping to add a cone. Um, so now we are. Let me just close everything. Close others. And we'll leave the package open for the moment, but then we're going to come in here into the source file and go to. I would think the first place to go would be to interfaces and see if in Showtime, let's see, three mesh interface. Uh, so the first thing I would want to do is add my new shape in here and then validate I do already have a height And do I have and I have a radius. So there's no reason to add any of that, but we are going to add or. And what was this thing called? I think it was called cone geometry. And so now it is okay for it to be a cone geometry. So that is the first thing. So what we want to do is when we add these, I guess when you edit, we want the user, I guess the next thing would be for them to be able to select cone in this dropdown. And then once they select cone, like right now, if they select cube or sphere, basically the radius goes, the width and height go away, but the and the radius shows up. But basically for cone, I want it to be where the height and the radius are still there. And they'll already have values, so that's kind of cool. So hopefully this is pretty simple. I'm going to close that package up. Where are we on time? I know I've been just so irresponsible lately. I have been we've been irresponsible with how much time we've been taking up of all these fine people's time. So the next thing will be to go to my toolbox. Inside the toolbox is Mess Manager. See, and I love how like it's pretty easy to like just sort of navigate down this and remember how it works. And the other thing I really like about this architecture is like once I add the cube and the cone, I'll be able to animate it. I'll be able to set colors to it. I'll be able to add change its material. Like it will inherit everything that everything else could do. And I worked really hard to get that working. So honestly, the big killer of this thing was, and I did it at the time. I said it at the time that when I didn't know anything about animations, I had no idea how to do it. And animations, every time I have to dig in that code, is just a mess. So, anyways, let's go back to here. And I don't know how we steps bevel. I honestly don't remember how to oh, that's for text. How you do, okay, so basically it looks like all I have to do is add text of this. And I guess it's probably sphere geometry. And I need a closing quote, and I need to make this. No, it's not sphere geometry. It is cone geometry. And it's a cone. And then let's see what we have here. So we're going to add our mesh. We're going to hit edit, and we are going to here, and we have our cone. And basically, we can't see any neither. We can neither see height, which is one of the things we want. So we can add that. We have a path. Path has been laid out for us. So I'm just going to copy this. I feel like cone should be next to box. It seems like text is its own little thing. And I probably should multi-line this bad boy because now we're getting a little long. Little bit. Just a little long. Oh man, I like coding so much more than setting up websites and stuff like that. Cone geometry. Do you like it too, Rhett? So let's see. Add mesh, edit forms. So what we should get is height to still be there. Cone. Yep. And our height is still there. And then there was radius, and that is apparently way down here. Sphere. Okay, and that's cool. So since it was there first, mesh dot shape equals, and I actually have no idea. I feel like I used double quotes up there, but geometry, and we'll save that. Actually, I haven't even paid attention to what actually happens to the mesh when I change it to a cone geometry. Cone. So it just stays that there. So I probably have a default somewhere. And it's probably a good idea at this point to look to see if we have a console error. Oh my gosh. Let's reload. I probably should have just changed that. Oh, I hate you. I hate this thing so much. I can't even tell you how much I hate it. I definitely am going to do the setup very different, just in hopes of avoiding this error in the future on the initialization. Um, just can't even begin. Okay, so we didn't get any errors there. Can't even begin to tell you how much that annoys me. I think I have 4 episodes where like I literally try to make that go away, and I just couldn't get it to go away. Yeah, I honestly, and I think it's because of the very initial setup. I should definitely have not even done any display at all. I should have like a loading screen until everything is stable. And so that is definitely the plan for next year's project. Where are we now? Okay, we are at 12, almost 13 minutes, 12 and a half minutes. So this is a good stopping point. Next time we will, oh man, I need to put this into its, this time we will put this in its own branch. Git checkout. I think it'll let me do it. Dash B cone geometry. Let's just make sure I spelled that right. Yep. Boy, I'll tell you, it's the implements. It is the worst, and I still do it. Is when you have like a misspelling and oh wait, no, this is the branch name, not the commit. Um, when you have a misspelling of the of something in a commit, it's so embarrassing, and you have to look at it like for the rest of your time there. Um, you just see that, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I misspelled that. I know, Rhett. I know, Rhett. And Rhett's so judgy. But anyways, yeah. So next time, basically, hopefully, it's as simple as like according to ChatGPT, adding a cone geometry is this simple. So wherever I do box geometry, like I think if I do a search on dot box geometry, wherever I do that, I probably just need to have it check for okay, so yeah, so I'll have to add, probably need to do some TypeScript there and then add something there. And I think that is it. I believe that all I'll have to do is something very similar to this. Um, and I think it'll work. And I think everything will work unless there's some weird ID thing that happens that breaks. Like when I say everything, I mean like animations and stuff like that. It seems like this will definitely work, but maybe the mesh ID. But I think I even have that fixed if the mesh ID shifts. But maybe not, because we did fix that for lights. So when you change from one kind of light to another kind of light, you lose the ID, but I don't think you lose the ID when you do that with meshes. I think you maintain the same ID, which is one of those funny little inconsistencies in in 3JS that you kind of like. That's one reason why I had to separate like my 3JS models from my like Showtime models. Um, so like early on in this, I really went back and forth on whether I should have set uh, separate models, and I actually said the reason I wanted to do it was because I wanted to be able to make deep copies, and I thought that 3GS models would have like re- uh, re- back references back to itself, like they have deep down inside would have another reference up to itself and cause like a problem uh, for import and export and stuff like that. But that's not even true. Like they don't have that, but I do think that um, it's still important because I think my models for Showtime are smaller, so having them export into CSVs and other files will be a lot easier. And then my models are do store information that the 3GS models don't store. So I do think it's still important to separate those, have Showtime model or interfaces, and not just depend on the 3JS. But anyways, that's that. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.